Guinness World Record, Robert Burns, Triangular Castles.
Weddings, amazing history, food and drink.
The Southwest has it all. Our first stop in the Dumfries and Galloway area is the small town of Moffat, which has quite a few surprises, including a Guinness Book of Records. Many years ago, this area was known to have a thriving woolen industry, hence this sheep statue in the High Street. It was apparently sculpted by a William Brodie who forgot to give it ears. This poor guy was ridiculed so much about his mistake that it is said that he committed suicide. Back in the 17th and 18th century, this building, which is now the town hall, was formerly a bath hall. They discovered mineral springs of sulphurous water. It became so popular with the Victorians that they travelled from all over to come and taste the healing water, that it got piped to this building. Moffat became the fashionable place to be seen that hotels sprung up everywhere. Which leads us to here, the Star Hotel. Do you see anything unusual about it? Have a good look, because it's in the Guinness Book of Records as the world's narrowest hotel. Shall we go in and have a look? Just across the road from the Star Hotel is the UK's narrowest street. So Moffat also has another claim to fame. It has a Syme Street, and it's also the only one in the UK. Go into Google and type it in, S-Y-M-E, Syme Street. It's the only one. Pretty amazing for a small place, eh? Guinness Book of Records, narrowest street. Town also has Scotland's oldest pharmacy, dating back as far as 1844. Also nearby is the Blackpool Inn, which dates back to 1568. It was visited several times by Scotland's national poet, Robert Burns. It is also said that William Hare of the famous grave robbing pair stayed here, while being headed into exile after giving evidence against his former partner in crime in 1829.
That was interesting. Next stop, Lockerbie.
This little village just off the M74 became known as the Lockerbie disaster or Lockerbie air bombing. not too much further south of Lockerbie is GretnaGreen. Is this Scotland's most romantic place?
We only need the two of us together. We only need the two of us together. We only need the two of us together. 'Cause we got love.
Well, not many people know that Gretna is actually separate from the famous GretnaGreen wedding place. Gretna itself was built back in the First World War to accommodate 30,000 employees, which worked in a munitions factory in East Rig just outside Gretna. 12,000 of those were actually women. And amazingly, Arthur Conan Doyle, the author of Sherlock Holmes, visited this munitions factory when he was a war correspondent, and he named it the Devil's Porridge. So just outside Annan is a museum called the Devil's Porridge. That's what he called this mixture that these ladies stirred in the factory, and it happened to be 9 miles long, which was the biggest munition place in the world at the time. So there you go, folks, a little bit of added information here. Look at this amazing moated castle. Built in the 13th century and belonged to the Maxwell family. It's the only triangular castle in the whole of the UK. Just a few miles down the road from Caerlaverock Castle, found a lovely little park up by the water. We'll settle down, have our dinner. Tomorrow morning we're heading off to Dumfries.
When we wake, hear the birds and see the sun. Side by side our fears are done.
Well, just a short drive from here is the largest town of Dumfries. It may be well known for its connections with the poet Robert Burns, but something more important took place here in 1306. The two main contenders for the Scottish throne met here at Greyfriars Church, Robert the Bruce and John the Red Comyn. They argued, and Bruce drew a dagger and stabbed his foe to death, and then crowned himself King of Scotland 5 weeks later. The original church is now long gone, but there is a plaque to mark the occasion. It was many years later Dumfries became more recognised with its connections to Robert Burns, Scotland's national poet, who spent the last few years of his life here. He died at the age of 37 and had 12 children by 4 women, 9 by his wife Jean Armour, and the last of Burns's children, Maxwell, was actually born during his funeral service. So directly across the road from his wife Jean Armour's statue is St Michael's Churchyard, and Robert Burns's mausoleum is up the very back. But he wasn't originally buried there, he was originally in the back left hand corner, if you ever come for a look. But scattered throughout the churchyard there is also plaques of all his associates of that time. Robert Burns was known to enjoy a whisky and was a frequent visitor here, the Globe Inn, Dumfries Galloway's oldest pub, established way back in 1610. And if you decide to go in and sit in the chair where Burns sat, if you do, then you have to buy a round of drinks for everyone and recite one of his verses. Another favourite watering hole of Robert Burns was here, the Hole in the Wa. There are plaques scattered throughout the town, and you can also visit his final home, which is now a museum. From Dumfries we travelled south to join the Solway Coast Heritage Trail. You will pass through picturesque villages within this beautiful countryside, catching a glimpse of the Solway Firth. Our first surprise stop was at New Abbey, where we discovered the 750-year-old Sweetheart Abbey. The monks at the Abbey worshipped at least 8 times a day, starting at 2 AM in the morning. Continuing our journey around the coastline, there are numerous holiday parks with some stunning views. Dalbeattie is known for its granite industry, but it was also the hometown of William McMaster Murdoch. He was the first officer in charge of the ill-fated Titanic when it hit the iceberg. This is the actor who played his role in the film. Just on the outskirts of Dalbeattie, we stumbled upon the Wicker Man Statue, where the majority of his 1973 movie was filmed in the villages nearby. Pronounced Kirkcudbright, it is Scotland's answer to St Ives in Cornwall, with their pastel painted houses and shop fronts, with plenty of Victorian and Edwardian architecture to catch your eye. It is referred by residents as the artist town, and it's a magnet for artists, especially at sunset. Like many towns and villages in this region, Kirkcudbright has a few surprises. Billy Marshall, the UK's oldest ever man, is buried here at St Cuthbert churchyard. He lived to an incredible 120 years old, was married 17 times and had fathered 4 children after the age of 100. The UK's oldest ever trophy awarded for sport is held in the Stewart Museum. It was donated by King James VI in 1587 for a shooting competition. Crofton House in the heart of the town has had a Japanese garden since 1901 and attracts visitors because it has one of the world's largest collections of Robert Burns the poet's works. Unfortunately for us, we've just arrived and the heavens have opened up and it's never really gave us much of an opportunity to go wandering around, so I've just popped into the local garage, pulled up my lay-by, having a little coffee.
You want to leave this place where we grew up, this old town, just put it all behind. Remember you and I would always find somewhere to hide when we were kids, so we could see and hear the water run. The river's gonna cry when you're gone.
Well, Newton Stewart used to be more known for woolen industry and carpets, but nowadays is very popular with salmon and trout fishing.
River's gonna cry when you're, river's gonna cry when you're, river's gonna cry when you're gone. Hoping you would stay, but I've always known that you would go and find your own way. I still see when we climbed up in those trees, 12 years old, feel the wind and watch the river run, and the sun would always shine when we sat there, you and I. The river's gonna cry when you're gone, 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 gone. River's gonna cry when you're
Driving the coastal trail, you will come across quite a few enchanting little villages, but expect the unexpected, from pheasants, deer, stray sheep, cattle crossings. If you're ever travelling this Solway trail, beware of the potholes. There's lots. If you enjoy a good read, then this is a place to visit. With over 250,000 to choose from, Wigtown was officially designated as Scotland's national book town in 1998. It's a book lover's haven with a wide range of book-related businesses. Port Williams Harbour was one of the first to be built in this area of western Galloway, and in the 17th and 18th century it was rife for smuggling. The Dumfries and Galloway area of Scotland has a coastline which stretches over 200 miles. Its most southerly point is here, the Mull of Galloway. The lighthouse here was put into operation in 1830 and was built by the engineering grandfather of the Treasure Island author Robert Louis Stevenson. And on a clear day it is possible to see Ireland and the Isle of Man. like many places in this area, Port Patrick was founded on fishing and later became a port linked to Northern Ireland. It was also popular for Irish couples to come over to Scotland to get married. It's a great place for clifftop walks with stunning views.
Close your eyes.
Castle Douglas has a great selection of restaurants, cafes and pubs. There are so many that it has been designated as Scotland's only food town, so if you fancy visiting here, arrive with an appetite. From ice cream, toffee, chocolate, a small brewery and plenty of local produce. This region of Scotland has it all, but be prepared. Our last road to travel is the Mennock Pass. It's a glorious road to drive, especially on a clear day, but that was soon to change as we got higher and higher. Well, on the final part of our journey, we're at Scotland's highest village, Wanlockhead. We've stopped off for a high tea in the tea room and it started snowing and it's mid-April. And if I pan the camera around here, you see all the snow in the background. Thank goodness we're making our way back home soon. We might get snowed in up here.
Oh my god, let me in the van!
I should have noticed, yeah, I should have tried. And all the loving that I just ignored, I'm gonna revive.
The highest toilet, the highest tea room, and the highest pub in Scotland.
I made mistakes, I know I lied. I should have noticed, yeah, I should have tried. And all the loving.
This is now leaving Dumfries Galloway area and we're now entering South Lanarkshire. So that's us done a full tour of the Dumfries and Galloway area and we're leaving it with glorious snow.